It's a loaded night of high school hoops in Spartan Arena as the number 13 ranked 4A Homestead Spartans take on SAC foes Bishop Luers Knights. Good evening, everybody. I'm Malachi Stout, joined alongside Atticus Dean with sideline reporter Braxton Hall joining us later. And Atticus, it's been a different road for both these teams to get to this point, but both teams looking for a big signature win tonight to get their second conference win of the season.
Yeah, you mentioned different starts for these teams, Malachi, and that really is true, as Luers had a tough loss their first game of the year, while Homestead, up until recently, they looked unbeatable, but two different outcomes in their last games, with Homestead losing and Luers winning, so both teams feel like this is a must-win tonight.
And now let's get into our OPS pregame show by looking at Bishop Luers' last time out, as they were able to roll over the Northrop Bruins 84-42 to get their first conference win of the season.
Well, yeah, I talked about how they lost their first game in a bad loss. They lost by 20, and then what a way to bounce back, doubling up Northrop's score in that one, and that's how you want to kick off the season. That's also how you want to kick off conference plays. The SAC is always competitive, and when you have those big time wins like that, it really sets a tone for the rest of the conference.
Yeah, big time bounce back win, as you mentioned, is now going forward looking at their next few games. Obviously tonight they have a big conference game coming up, but they have some more big matchups going forward, as in their next two games they go up against Brebeuf Jesuit and then Evansville Memorial. Two big games after this one.
And what stands out to me, Malachi, is just the road stretch they have. They have this game tonight, and then the next two are also away games. So really getting those away games in early to figure things out, as it's much tougher to win on the road than at home. So it's a good test for this Knights squad early in the season.
Yeah, and a team that doesn't want to fall into a hole really to start this season, so they're going to need some big away game wins. But now flipping over to the other side of this matchup, where the Homestead Spartans in their last game out suffered their first defeat of the season at the hands of South Bend Riley.
Yeah, and in that one, it was just rough for the Spartans, as from the get-go, South Bend Riley just out-intensified the Spartans, both offensively and especially defensively. They just picked up Homestead full court, made them work, and didn't let them get into a flow offensively. And they did something that no team has been able to do up to this point: slow down Mac Welker. That was a big takeaway in that one, so I'm sure him and the rest of the Spartans are going to look to have a bounce-back win tonight.
Yeah, now looking back to the Spartans' first 5 games of the season, and now as you see them 4 games deep, what stuck out to you the most about this team?
Well, just the quality of wins they have, especially in conference. It's been all dominant, and their one loss to South Bend Riley, it was close. They were in it to the very end, but when they do win, it just is in such a dominant fashion, and they were able to control both sides of the game extremely well. So that has stood out to me the most.
Yeah, now it's going to be our players to watch for tonight, and starting off with the visiting Bishop Luers Knight. I mean, Cormani Davis has been a one-man show for this team on both sides of the ball. He's been a force to start this season.
Yeah, and Davis, the seniors, the leading scorer of this Knights team, but you mentioned both sides of the basketball. That's oh so important, being able to do the little things on both sides. And when you have multiple players that are just two-way guys at the guard position like the Knights have, that just opens everything up and makes it so much easier for your team.
Yeah, and now moving on to the Spartans, where their key player for tonight is going to be Jake Coleman. As you know, Mac Welker obviously is great for this team, but Jake Coleman really does a great job of getting him the basketball and just dictating this offense as the team's lead point guard. And, you know, when Mac Welker went quiet in their last game out, he had a big game as he put up 19 points. They're going to need a big performance from him tonight.
Yeah, and that one, Coleman just got to his spots and looked comfortable out there, even playing through the contact that the Wildcats were putting on him. He was just able to go out there and not let that affect him and still get the Spartans set up as best they could considering the circumstance. But yeah, Coleman had a breakout offensive performance last game, looking to continue that for the Spartans.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to be counting on him tonight. We'll definitely need a big time showing from him. But now looking at the SAC standings, as I mean, it's a very tight race at the moment. Southside currently in the lead, sitting at 2-0, but then we have 3 other teams who sit undefeated. Carroll being one of them, and the other 2 playing tonight, Bishop Luers and Homestead. They're both looking to try to stay atop the leaders of this conference, as it's a very big game tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned just 2 undefeated teams in the SIC going at it, and how about Southside? What a way to start the year for the Archers, a team that everyone saw potential in and didn't know if they were going to be able to harvest it in time. Well, they've done that to start the year, but Luers and Homestead looking to knock them off the throne at the top of the SAC, and it would go a long way to get a win here tonight to continue that goal, so it should be a really fun one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good game here, but we also have good games around the area, as we have some other very big games, as we have some double headers going on across the city, as you see now. And a really big game, we have Southside and Northrop. We have Wayne and Carroll Snyder against Northside, and Bishop Dwenger against Concordia. And then in some non-SAC conference play, we have Canterbury taking on Blackhawk Christian.
Yeah, and the games have been really good all around the conference.
Yeah, and now sending it down to sideline reporter Braxton Hall, who's standing by with Coach Johnson.
Coach, it's a huge game tonight against a fellow SAC opponent. What do you want to see from your guys in this one?
Well, we want to make sure that we, are the physical team. I thought we came out a little flat against Riley. We want to, show our home crowd what we're made of a little bit tonight. So, we're excited about the atmosphere, the crowd, and getting back to home to see what we can do.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. Malachi, back to you.
Thank you, Braxton. Coach Johnson said it there. He wants to put on a show for the home crowd, and they're out in mass tonight. Definitely excited to watch this Spartans team. But now we will step away, but don't go anywhere, because we'll have starters and tip-off when we come back.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just 1 weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
Welcome back to Spartan Arena, as we are now announcing starting lineups for both teams, and starting off with the visiting Knights. It's going to be 5'10" senior Carmani Davis, 5'10" sophomore guard Zen Safursky, 6'3" guard TJ English, and then 6'4" senior forward Ale Taylor, and then finally 6'3" sophomore forward Jaden Moore.
And one thing to note of the starting lineup is the sophomores Moore and Seversky have done so much for this Luers team to start the year, and they just have great size all around. The size that can help match up with Homestead, as Homestead, they obviously have Welker, and they also have both McNeeses, so that size battle is always going to be an uphill fight for whoever Homestead faces.
Yeah, definitely will be something to keep an eye on. But now moving to the home team, the Homestead Spartans, their starting five is going to be freshman guard 6'1" Mason Weaver, 6'1" sophomore guard Ryder Immel, and then 6'1" junior guard Jake Coleman, and 6'6" junior forward Mac Welker, and finally 6'6" senior forward Brogan McNeese.
Well, you want to talk about size. Homestead has it from point guard to center, and something that Homestead's going to look to rely on in this one is production from their underclassmen guards, as Weaver and Immel have been pretty quiet as of late. Immel had a big-time game in their first game against Manchester, but since then he's gone a bit quiet, so they're going to look to get him involved.
Yeah, will definitely be interesting to see how they try to scheme him up. Definitely want him firing from beyond the arc in this one. But now Atticus going into this game. What are your keys for both of the teams going into this one?
Well, to start things with the visiting Luers, you want to put pressure on the Spartans. They struggled with that against Riley, so if you can force the Spartans to be uncomfortable and make them take that extra second to come to their decision, that could go miles long in throwing off Homestead offense, and then offensively push the pace as well. Homestead struggled to get back in time against Riley as well, and Luers, they have athletes from 1 through 5, so they want to push the ball in transition. Then for the home team, the Spartans, you kind of want to do the same thing. You want to put pressure on Luers. You want to throw different defensive looks at them. When you put Welker up top in the zone, it opens up your team's defensive capabilities so much, and then offensively take care of the basketball and slow things down. Don't let Luers dictate your pace. You want to play your pace, your style of basketball if you're Homestead.
And now we have both teams out on the court ready to go. It's going to be Mac Welker and Ale Taylor to get us started in the circle as we are underway from Spartan Arena. As it's going to go the way of the Knights, as a quick turnover here. Carmani Davis was looking for Zafersky, but just threw it over his own backcourt. We're going to get a backcourt violation early in this one, not the start the Knights were looking for.
Yeah, quick miscommunication for the Knights on a possession that could set the tone of this one, something they'd like to have back, but now Homestead gets a chance to go out there and get the first bucket of the game.
And now Coleman's going to take it up for the Spartan, kicks it out to Ryder Immel as he's going to give it to Mac Welker, who hands the ball off to Immel. Immel now looking for somebody. He's able to get it to Mac Welker. As it's going to be Ryder Immel, they're looking to get him something going. Can't find anyone. Has to get it back to Welker. Welker spinning around, finds the cutting Immel, and Immel's going to be contacted hard there by Jaden Moore as the Spartans are able to pick up the fouls. It's going to be Moore's first foul of the game.
And that was a risky pass there thrown by Welker, but Immel doing a good job of sprinting to the ball and even drawing a little bit of contact.
It's now Mason Weaver looking for Jake Coleman to end on the ball, and then it's going to be Ryder Immel back to Jake Coleman, just dribbling around the arc at the moment as Immel has it in the wing as he's going to get it back up top to Weaver. He's going to get it down to Welker. He's going to miss the jumper there. It's going to be Zaversky taking it the other way for the Knights. So he's just going to dribble it up top, taking things slow, gets it to Ale Taylor on the wing, looking for someone. He's able to get it to Davis. As Davis goes down, tries to make a play. It's going to be taken away by Coleman. Coleman gets it to Mason Weaver, and he's going to float it up and in for the first points of the night.
And another sloppy possession from the Knights, and the Spartans able to capitalize off of it and instantly go to that full court zone trap. So the Knights have to pick things up and avoid turnovers, or else they could get out of reach pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the Knights are going to pass one off the leg of Welker there. As you mentioned, the defensive switch up by the Spartans. Very interesting, giving them different looks. See how they respond as Zaversky able to get it into Jaden Moore. Moore tries to drive inside, but he's going to go up, and it's no good. Ale Taylor's going to get the board, but it's going to be poked away, and Mac Welker has it now. Spartans looking to push the pace as Ryder Immel takes it up, back out to Welker. Now Welker back to Immel. Immel getting a screen from Welker. So he's just going to kick it out to McNeese. McNeese driving in, gets it to the corner to Weaver. Weaver thinks about it, but then drives inside, and a nice dish to Welker, but he's going to be stood up there by TJ English. It's going to be the Knights taking it now. Davis trying to get inside and finds Moore in the corner. Moore for three, and it's going to rim around and find its way out as Mac Welker now leading the charge for the Spartans. Gets it to Immel. Back to Welker. He's got all the room in the world and misses on the three. Hits the side rim as the Knights now trying to take things very fast as it's going to be Zafersky on the wing as he's going to get it back to English in the corner. English just taking his time. No one steps up to guard him. The jumper is no good as both offenses in a stalemate at the moment. As it's going to be Weaver now in the corner. Gets it to Coleman. Coleman looking for some space. Tries to spin around and Now Weaver getting it to Welker on the block. Back out to Weaver for the open three. It's good. The freshman able to connect from beyond the arc as it's 5-0 Spartans as Bishop Luers still scoreless through the first 3 minutes of this game. As now Zafirski takes it up top, just trying to slow things down. Knights not trying to go too fast at the moment. It's going to be a screen by Taylor as the ball is poked away by Coleman once again, and now Coleman trying to take the ball up the floor as he gets a screen by Welker. Now to Immel. Immel gets it to the block to Welker, who's going to go up, and they're going to call this one a foul. It's going to go against TJ English. That will be his first.
And the defensive intensity from the Spartans is throwing off the Knights early, as not only are they playing that full court trap, but once Luers crosses half court, they're just settling back into man, but it's in a very aggressive man defense, and Kuhlman, his hands are very active. He's poked the ball out a couple times. So far for the Knights, they're struggling to take care of the basketball as Homestead just doing everything in their power to throw them off.
And Welker's first free throw is up and good. He's an 82% shooter from the line, so someone the Spartans are very comfortable with there. But you mentioned it, the defense by the Spartans has been fantastic to start. They're not letting the Knights get comfortable at all, as Welker's going to get both to fall here. And so Fiskey's going to try to battle against this full court pressure as Davis gets it to Taylor now. Taylor out to English. English driving inside, dishes it down to Moore. A good find, and the layup is good for the first points of the game for the Knights.
And that's going to be key for Luers. Get the ball in the middle of that Spartans defense and see if they can find someone down low like they did with Jaden Moore.
And now it's going to be McNeese who's at the top, and now he's going to get a Welker who's trying to drive inside, and they're going to call the contact. That one is going to go against TJ English, and that's going to be his second foul, as he's going to have to sub out of the game for Kenyon Crow, the backup, who's been very good off the bench for this team, providing 6.5 points. As now it's going to be Immel in the corner, gets it down low to Welker. Welker taking his time, trying to back down more as he spins and lays one up, but unable to get it to go. Grabs his own miss. Second attempt, no good, but he's hustling for his rebound, doesn't able to get it. As now it's Davis, as Zerfiski's now taking it up the floor, tries to get it down low to Moore, and he's going to go up, no good. But it's going to be fouled by McNeese. That's going to be his first.
You can see it on the face of Welker after the miss attempts. He wanted those back. He knows he can hit those, and he was earlier in the year. But these past two games to start things off for Welker, it's been rough shooting, and the Knights are rolling with the punches and just taking advantage of those Welker layups.
Well, Jaden Moore misses the front end of the free throws, and that makes him 1 for 6 on the year from the stripe. Just hasn't been able to get it done on the stripe so far. He'll look to try to get a second one to go, and he does. So able to go 1 for 1 from the stripe to make it a 4-point ball game. Now Coleman's going to take it up the floor. So he's looking, gets it to Welker now. Welker up the floor as Immel has it now. Luers playing very close defensively, putting a lot of pressure. And Spartans still just taking it around the perimeter, as it's going to be Weaver now. Just keeps rotating the ball around to Immel. Immel's going to fire from 3. Is no good off the front iron, as it's Crow now taking it forward. Zafirski's got it now. They're going to get it to Taylor. Taylor gets Welker in the air. Is going to go up, some contact, but they're going to say that Weaver was straight up, as now Coleman taking it the other way, gets it to Welker. Now Coleman has it, gets the screen by Welker. Coleman has a lane, kicks it out to Weaver. Weaver for a second 3 of the night, gets it to go. How about this start from Mason Weaver, as he already has 8 points.
And Weaver was a guy that wasn't shooting those a couple games ago, but he has the confidence tonight, and he's making them rain. Same with A.O. Taylor. And something interesting to know with Taylor, he went to Homestead but transferred to Luers, so maybe a bit of a revenge game for him. Interesting to see how it goes for Taylor, but 2 quick jumpers from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, that shot by Taylor, a really nice shot, but he was just feet inside the 3-point arc, so not really the shot that Coach Coffin was looking for, but that's going to cut this lead to 5, and I mean, what has stood out to you the most so far by the Spartans that's able to propel them to their 5-point lead?
Well, they've been able to handle the basketball even with Luers matching their zone defense with their own. They've still been able to get confident, move the ball, and they've got the ball in the middle of the zone to Welker or McNeese, and they just use their tall frame to look over the defense and find the open shooters like Mason Weaver, who's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc to kick things off for the Spartans and has 8 of Homestead's first 10.
Yeah, he's been huge. He hasn't been a big scoring option for this team, only has 3 points on the year. He's already surpassed that, actually more than doubled it at 8 to start this first quarter, as now Coleman has it. He's going to give it to Immels as they get it inside to McNeese. McNeese out to Coleman for 3. This one's going to be no good, but Welker fighting for another offensive board goes up and is going to be fouled as Mac Welker is putting in the work on the offensive boards. They're going to rule this one a foul against Taylor. That's going to be his first of the game.
And for Luers, it's a similar fate Homestead had last game against Riley. When you play that zone, it's hard to get rebounds as you're not matched up with somebody to box out, and there Welker taking advantage of it. And he's been, you mentioned, just a terror on the offensive glass and is extending these possessions for Homestead, which has allowed them to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to take advantage of the size he has over the Knights as he gets his first free throw to go, as the ref's talking to him about something. So they're going to say, I believe his jersey's, they say his blood on his jersey, and they're going to make him clean that up, and they're going to send him to the sideline. So a bit of an interesting situation we have here is, they're going to have to wait on him, as they're going to have, looks like they're going to have somebody else take the free throws now. They're going to have Ryder Immel take the free throws, as Braylon McNeese now in the game, taking the spot of Welker in his absence. So some strange antics going on early in this game, as Welker is already forced to check out early with some blood on his jerseys. Immel now taking his first free throw, but the second of the trip, and he finishes what Mac Welker started, getting the second one to go. Now it's going to be Zafersky taking the ball up the floor. Gets it to Taylor. Taylor just looking for somebody as he's going to spin down low, powering through, not able to get the shot to fall, just going too strong, as the Spartans, they have numbers, and they're going to look to use them, as now it's going to be Braylon McNeese in the corner for 3, no good, and Taylor's going to get the rebound. Now it's Zafersky taking the ball up the floor. So he's going to take the long jumper, and it's going to be no good off the glass, but Davis there to get the board. He's going to take it out and get it to Taylor. Taylor, no hesitation, takes the 3, and it's no good, but Crow able to keep the ball in play, gets it to Taylor. Taylor not able to get the shot to fall, but they're going to count that one a foul. It's going to go against McNeese. It'll be his first of the game.
And McNeese wasn't there initially to stop the backdoor cut of Taylor and had to foul, so it didn't result in a Luers layup. But that possession by the Knights, even though they're at the free throw line, it was not a great offensive possession. They look rushed out there right now, Malachi. They're rushing everything. The layup that Taylor had a couple possessions ago, just thrown off the backboard. Zafersky shooting a pull-up 3. They just look very rushed and sped up out there due to that defense from the Spartans, but they need to slow things down, and that'll allow their offense to get into a flow and crawl back in this one.
And now Mac Welker's checked back into the game with some tape on his arms. Looks like he was bleeding a little bit there, as he's going to be the one to secure the rebound. As now Immel gets it to Weaver in the corner. Can he connect again? He cannot, as it's going to be Luers trying to push things up, but just bounces off the body of Crow, as now the Spartans have it. Kicks it out to the corner. Welker pump fakes, and Taylor goes flying into the body of Welker. They're going to call that one a foul, and that's going to be his second of the game, and it's going to be the 5th team foul for the Knights already, and that's going to send Welker to the stripe. As you know, that's where he's been making a living early in this game, as 3 of his points have come from the line already. So his first one is up and no good, bounces in and out.
And that's 2 Knights in foul trouble, as both Taylor and English sitting at 2 fouls. So 2 starters already forced to have an extended break due to being in foul trouble. So now for the Knights, it just gets that much more difficult to settle in to this game.
And the second free throw is up, and he gets this one to go now as some substitutions, as it's going to be Sky Dollins coming in for the Spartans. As Davis takes a three, hand in his face, gets it to go. How about that shot from Cormani Davis?
That was just a tough bucket from the Knights, and that was a big momentum play they needed, and try to get it right back on defense with the zone.
And now the Spartans trying to figure out this Luers defense, just keep circling the ball around the perimeter. They're going to hit Coleman. Coleman's going to try to go inside, but then kicks it back out to Immel. Coleman's open in the corner. This one up, and they're going to say off the shot clock, and that's going to be, they're going to just call that out of bounds. It's going to be Knights ball now. Knights looking to try to cut the deficit in the final minutes here, as it's going to be Crow to Davis. Now Davis trying to drive inside, finds and opens Zafersky. Pump fakes, doesn't go for the shot as he spins around, and the tough midi bottoms. What a game he's had to start, as he's now up to 2 points on the game, and looks like the Spartans here are going to try to hold for the final shot, something we've seen a lot out of them this season.
And Jarvins, though, not going to allow it, and I like this from the Knights. Don't let the Spartans settle in and get the shot they want.
Yeah, well, Spartans able to get the cross-court pass to Ryder Immel. Can't sleep on the sophomore, as he is going to hit it from deep when you give him that much space, as he gets the contest on the defensive side. It's going to be a long chuck there by Welker. It's going to be no good, as the final score of the first quarter, 16-11. Spartans lead will step away.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
We're back from Spartan Arena, as our sideline reporter Braxton Hall has an update. We're sending it down to Braxton Hall now.
Yeah, thanks, Malachi. It's a special night tonight for Homestead and for the Spartan Army. Tonight's theme, Red for Riley, a special tradition run by Homestead's Red for Riley Dance Marathon Club to raise money for Riley Children's Hospital down in Indianapolis. You see Homestead students and fans decked out in red for this game. They do this tradition for one home football and basketball game each year. They raised $5,500 just over that total during the home football game against Northside back in October. And right now at the Miracle Minute taking place, buckets being passed around, all the attendees tonight being asked to donate any loose change they have, and a QR code up around throughout the building as well for people to donate. So a great tradition for Homestead to raise money and doing it all for the kids. Malachi?
Thank you, Braxton. Definitely a great cause going on tonight, as we get back into the action now, as McNeese has the ball down low, gets it back to Welker. Luers bringing some pressure now, as Spartans were forced to take it back on beyond the arc, but they're going to get it to Immel. Immel decides not to shoot it, gets it to Dollins. He's going to get it back to Immel. This time he does decide to shoot it, gets the bounce and no good. They're going to say off the shot clock once again, as it's going to be out of bounds and go the way of the Knights.
And the Knights have switched up their zone, as originally they were in sort of a 2-3, but now they're in that 2-1-2, trying to take away the middle of the court, as that's where all the damages come from, getting it to the middle and then kicking it out to the shooter. So the 2-1-2 zone does a great job of eliminating the middle.
Now the Knights haven't looked to attack so far, just content taking it around, as now Crow's going to take it down, gets it out as Zafersky. The three, it's good, as he gets his first three of the night, the leading three-point shooter for this Luers team at 40%, as he gets his first one of the night to go. It's going to be Immel now. Gets it to Coleman. Coleman down low to Welker. Four Luers defenders there, as it's back to Immel. The shot from Immel is good. It's going to be his second three of the night, as he continues his hot shooting streak going into this one. It's going to be Luers now. Davis has the ball. It's going to be poked away by Welker. Welker's going to take it. It's going to be off his foot and out of bounds. The Knights caught a break there, just trying to go a little bit too fast, as, I mean, he had a wide open look at the basket, as Now we have some substitutions into the game. It's going to be Weaver checking in along with Brogan McNeese. Now as Luers are going to take the ball up the floor. It's going to be Crow who has it, gets it to Zaferski. He's going to kick it out to the corner. Davis for three. Back rims it as it's no good, and then they're going to call the foul. Fighting for the ball. Looks like that one's going to go against Brogan McNeese, as that will be his second foul of the night.
And you see the rebounding issues again for Homestead. They're trying to force the Knights to throw the ball away and commit some turnovers, but when they go to that zone, they really struggle to secure the defensive rebounds they need to end the possession.
And this time Davis tries to drive inside, but a heads-up play by the freshman Mason Weaver, able to just save the ball right in front of him, gets two hands on it. It's going to force the Knights to take the ball out of bounds.
There was a great initial help there from Immel, stunting, just making Davis slow down just that half second in order for Weaver to rip it from his hands.
And now it's going to be Zaferski getting fancy with it, gets it to more. The mid-range is no good, but Davis able to grab a hold of the rebound, gets it back to Moore. It's going to be tipped around like a pinball game, as now Coleman has the ball. He's looking for a Spartans teammate, so he gets it to Immel. Immel gets it to Weaver now. Weaver just waiting, finds McNeese, as it's going to be poked away by Crow on the pass, and they're going to get the foul on Coleman, as Crow is trying to go all the way with the jam, but they're going to get the foul on the floor. The smart play there by Coleman, just ensuring the Knights have to try to run their half-court set and not get a wide-open fast break opportunity.
And it's a great job by Crow picking off the pass from Brogan McNeese, as too predictable of a pass, and you mentioned heads-up play by Coleman, just wanted to make sure that the Knights don't have the opportunity to run in transition.
And now Cormani Davis continues his strong start from beyond the arc, getting his second three to go, and he struggled a little bit from inside, but I mean, that touch from beyond the three-point line, I mean, it's deadly, and they've been relying on that for this first half, as it's now going to be Coleman launching from three, and he's going to answer Davis's three with one of his own to push the Spartans' lead back up to 5. So now Zaferski has it in his hands, gets it out of Crow. Crow's going to drive baseline, gets it down to Moore, trying to use his bodies, but going to kick it back out to Davis. Davis now trying to get down low, gets it to Moore for three. It's going to be no good on his end. As now Immel's taking the ball up the floor for the Spartans. So he gets it to McNeese. McNeese looking for someone. He's going to swing it back now to Immel. Immel, being guarded closely by Crow, is able to get the handoff to Coleman. Is now McNeese from the corner. He puts one up, and it's going to be no good, but Coleman's there for the offensive board and gets to McNeese. Looking for Welker down low. No one's even guarding him. He's going to step in and then get it down low to Weaver. As Weaver, he's going to take one too many steps, was bothered by the contact of Davis there, and it's going to be called a travel.
The Knights did a great job there of not allowing the Spartans to get them their easy catch and shoot threes they look forward to, and it forces guys to put the ball on the floor, and with that pressure, they're bound to make a mistake.
And the help by the Spartans leaves Crow open, but he's unable to get the three to connect. And how about that rejection by Braylon McNeese, as Moore thought he had to open look at the basket, but McNeese sent it back at him, as now they're going to get the foul on the offensive end. They're going to call that one against Jovins, but another look at that one, just coming from behind, perfectly timed, clean block, a great play there by McNeese.
Well, the bigs of the Spartans, not only are they tall, but they have their long arms, so they really just have so much gravity down low and can come from out of nowhere and get the block. So great rejection from McNeese, and how can the Spartans offense capitalize and extend their lead?
It's going to be Weaver with the ball now, gets it to Coleman. Coleman on the wing, guarded by Moore. As it's going to be deflected away by Crow. Crow's taking it all the way. This time, the jam is going to count, as he just gets up there and then softly lays it in. And that's going to be his second opportunity in the fast break. This time doesn't get fouled, as he's able to get the two to go. And now Spartans trying to respond, trying to figure out the pressure that Luers is giving him. It's going to be Welker in the corner. So he gets it back to Coleman. Now Weaver right back to Coleman. Coleman to Welker in the corner. This one is going to be off. Had a clean look at it as now Davis battling 3 Spartans, able to find more open. Spins down low, puts one up and fights through the contact and able to get his shot to go.
And Moore has been putting in a lot of work over the summer, especially his post game. You can tell right there, just a tough spin for the bucket, and all the momentum is on the side of the Knights right now as they're going on a bit of a run.
Yeah, it's been all Knights for the past few minutes, but it's going to be a foul picked up by Zafersky, and it's going to be that intensity that we've seen out of the Knights. It's works a lot in their favor tonight, but going to go against them there as Zafersky's going to pick up his first foul of the game as Coleman now is going to take the ball, try to drive inside. There's a little bit of contact to Zafersky, but it's going to be taken back out now in the hands of Coleman again. Gets a screen from Braylon McNeese. Back out to McNeese now as he drives inside, goes up, and able to get it to go over the smaller Zafersky.
The great take there by McNeese. Even though he has a size, usually he likes those catch and shoot threes there, but recognize the mismatch he had and tough layup down low to stop some of this momentum that the Knights have.
Well, Crow is going to be fouled as he's turned the corner there, had some room, but they're going to get the foul against Coleman. So that's going to be his second foul of the game now as Crow is 1 of 2 on the year from the stripe, looking to try to improve that on this trip as the first one is up and no good. The first shot no good for Kenyon Crow. We have a substitution now. It's going to be Cameron Abering, the sophomore, checking in for Jake Coleman, who's now up to 2 fouls as Coach Johnson wants him out of the game. Doesn't want him in too much foul trouble as Crow's second free throw up. And the second one is no good as well. So he goes 0 for 2 from the stripe. Ends up empty-handed as Spartans lead is going to stay at 3. It's going to be Abering in the corner. Gets it out to Weaver. Weaver now back to Abering. Abering's going to shoot the 3. He's going to be no good, but Welker, another fight for the board. The spin, great footwork there by Welker as he's able to lay it up and good. Now quickly pushed. Crow had a look for a moment, but decided not to take it. As it's going to be Davis. Gets it down low to Crow. This time he will, and they're going to get the foul, likely against Mac Welker on this one as a good find, and he just goes up strong, and Welker got a little bit greedy looking for the block. Looks like he got a bit of that arm on that one as Crow looking for a chance to redeem himself from the last time at the stripe where he went 0 for 2. And he will not be able to do so on the first one as he's not able to connect. Makes him 0 for 3 from the stripe on the night.
Malachi, you know, it's maybe a bit cliche, but free throws they win games that important. Well, they really are. I mean, he's missed 3, and that would cut the Spartans' lead down to 2. So these free throws, able to knock one in, but if you're the Knights, you really would wish you could hit all those, as it shrinks the lead. And with the pressure put on Homestead, their offense is slowed down a bit, so you have to feel good if you're the Knights, considering where you started.
Yeah, their defense has made a change, and Coach Johnson now forced to burn a timeout as Spartans were creeping with a violation on that one. As you know, now he has to talk things over. And if you're Coach Johnson, what are you telling your guys in this huddle? Because obviously this Knights pressure is getting to them. What do they got to fix?
Right now, they look a bit scared. They're shying away from the basketball. I mean, when you get the ball to McNeese, he's right at the half-court line, doesn't have a whole lot of options on where to go, and guys are just shying away from the ball. And you just want to stress how important it is to take care of the basketball and move the basketball through the air rather than put it on the ground excessively. And especially when you have Abering out there at the moment, he brings that shooting that the Spartans team has lacked in this first half, but he also takes away some of the ball handling you might have if you had other guys out there. So you just have to play around that. But with Kuhlman out of the game for right now, you have to find someone that can step up and handle the pressure.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. As with Coleman already picking up 2 fouls, they're looking for someone to handle the ball, and it looks like they're going to give it to Weaver to handle the ball for the first possession coming out of the break. As he's going to hand the ball off to Abering, who's going to get to McNeese. And now back out to Weaver. As Luers sends 2 to the ball, and it's going to be turned over Ale Taylor looking to take it all the way, but it's going to take it back out to English, as now it's Davis. Has it in the corner. He's going to have to be forced to give it back to Zafersky, who's driving inside, spins around, tough, mid-range, no good. It's going to be corralled now by Welker, as Ryder Immel's going to try to take it all the way, gets it to Aberine, and Immel's open down low, puts up the shot, but the contest was just too much from there. Now Luers trying to take it quick the other way. Davis, no good to connect on the quick three. Now Immel taking the ball up the floor, trying to slow things down, try to get a better possession out of this one. They get it to Welker. Three are sent to the ball, and Welker just slips, it seems, as they're going to say the ball went off his knee, as another turnover for the Spartans.
Right now, both teams just having a rough stretch to end the first half, and Welker's been trying to go down low, but has faced mighty resistance from the Knights, and there just slips on the court. So now it's interesting to see will Luers hold for the last shot, or will they go quickly?
It looks like they're content with holding right now, and no big rush at the moment. And it's going to be Crow. Just gets it out to Taylor. Now Davis, the long mid-range shot, no good. Yeah, they're going to get the foul on Crow on that one. He was over the back trying to grab that offensive board there. Refs are going to get that one every single time, as it's going to be the first foul of the game on Crow, as now the Spartans are going to try to look to extend their lead on this final possession of the half.
And you see Kuhlman come back in the game, so have a steady hand to handle the basketball for this last 15 seconds. As you know, the Knights are not going to allow anything easy. They're going to pick up the pressure and try to force a Spartans turnover or a bad shot.
It's going to be in the corner. Weaver has it now. Clock winding down. Gets it out to Coleman to beat the buzzer. In and out as it spins around, but can't find its way down. So we'll end the first half 26-22 with the Spartans leading, as we have sideline reporter Braxton Hall standing by with Coach John.
All right, thanks, Malachi. Coach, tight game at the half. What are you going to tell your team in the locker room?
Well, I mean, we're shooting a lot of threes. I mean, we're not getting anything on the inside. We got to get an inside out. So, we're struggling in the offensive end when you don't make shots, and, teams can stay close to you. So we got to, quit chucking up the three so much and try to get an inside game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Malachi?
Thank you, Braxton. Well, that'll do it for the first half, as Spartans maintaining a slim 4-point lead going into the break.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Homestead National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just one weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
We're back at Spartan Arena for our OPS halftime show. And Atticus, Spartans currently hold a 4-point lead. What's been the key to their success in the first half?
Well, it was really that first quarter. The second quarter, they slowed down offensively, but they've also done a great job of containing the Luers' offensive attack, as Davis is coming in averaging 16 points a game. Well, he got to 6, but it was tough to come by. Had to hit 2 tough corner threes, but really the defense has stood out to me from this Homestead team. Is offensively, like Coach Johnson said in his interview with Braxton before we took a break, they were shooting way too many threes, and I personally agree, as obviously they can shoot the ball and they want to do that, but they're doing it too much. They're settling for these threes rather than trying to get the ball in the middle and down low and get easier shots. As if they can get their shooters a little bit more warmed up, then they can go on a huge run in this third quarter.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it. The Spartans, a very good three-point shooting team. They shoot 40% on the year, but yeah, these shots just haven't been falling as much for them. As the current leading scorers of the first half for the Spartans, it's Mason Weaver, who had 8 points, all of those coming in the first quarter. Ryder Emmel with 7, and then Mac Walker with 6. Those are the 3 leading scorers for the Spartans. It's been a very spread-out game for them. Meanwhile, for the Knights, it's been also a very spread-around game. Davis has 6, both of them threes. Stefersky has 5, and then Moore also has 5, but they currently find themselves down 4. But, you know, as you mentioned, look a lot more encouraging in that second quarter. What do they need to do in this second half to come back in this game?
They need to continue the defensive intensity, force more Spartans turnovers, and then kind of do the exact opposite offense. They need to slow down, not put any pressure on themselves as they're rushing things currently, and that's why they're struggling, is they feel like they have the need to just throw up a quick shot before they can get anything settled. I think if they just slow down, work the ball around, get some paint touches down low to Taylor or Moore, and then kick it back out to Davis or Stefersky, then they can get much easier looks from deep.
Yeah, and now looking at some scores from around the area, as Bishop DeWanger is going to be leading the Concordia Cadets 14-7. That game's in the second quarter. Carroll Chargers find themselves down 7-8, down 1 in the first against Wayne. As Snyder's is going to be up 31-20 against Northside in the second quarter. And then Southside trying to defend their undefeated record in conference play up against Northrop. They find themselves up 32-15 in the second quarter. And Atticus, which one of these games are you going to keep an eye on the most in the second half?
At this point, I would say that Carroll-Wayne game is very close, as Snyder and Southside starting to pull away a little bit. While it's still early, it's looking good for them. But that Carroll and Wayne game, that's something that I definitely watch. Both those teams they're always contenders in the SAC. They're both very aggressive. They have a lot of size that they can throw at you, and so it's a very interesting matchup between those two teams. So that's definitely one I would like to watch. Also, the Dwenger-Concordia game. Concordia having a much improved look this season. Dwenger got their first win of the year over DeKalb not that long ago behind George Corey, dropping 33 3/4 for the Saints. So those top two games on your screen are definitely the close, entertaining ones that I will be keeping my eye on later tonight.
Yeah, some great games across the Fort Wayne area, but we have a great game in front of us as we're going to step away, but don't go anywhere as we have a great second half of basketball coming on up.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
We're back in Spartan Arena as both teams now taking the floor. It's going to be the same lineups we saw to start the game for each of these teams, as Spartans are going to start with it. And what do you want to see the Spartans immediately go to in their first offensive action?
Well, we talked about it at halftime. Get the ball down low, work the ball around. Don't settle for a three-pointer just because it's a good shot. Go and look for a great shot down low to one of your bigs, or find a shooter off of a relocation. As the Knights continuing that pressure, someone will be open if you just work around the zone and take care of the basketball.
Yeah, Coleman takes the tough mid-range, not the great shot Spartans were looking for, as the Luers are going to try to bring it in transition quickly, but they're going to settle things down and give it back to Sarfiski at the top of the key. Being guarded closely. Fine there by Jaden Moore. Just able to attract to the ball and then finds his teammate A.L. Taylor under the basket for the easy layup.
And Taylor got into early foul trouble, so had a very quiet first half. He's looking to have a hot start to the second half and try to pick things up for his team.
It's going to be Mason Weaver now trying to go downhill against Taylor. He's going to pick up his dribble, and is now Welker now in the corner, as he's going to take the long three, and it's good, as he's going to connect for a three. Is deadly shooting. Haven't really seen him get going from beyond the arc, but is able to get that one to go.
And for Welker, it was a similar story against Bishop Dwenger. He was really quiet from beyond the arc in that first half, and then to start the second half, he came out and hit 2 threes, so already got one of the two in the second half.
But Carmani Davis answers right back as he continues. It's been all threes for him, as he's all 9 of his points have come beyond the arc. And I mean, there's no amount of defense that can stop a great shooting night, and it's been a great shooting night for him, as now Davis getting in on the action on the defensive side of the ball, as he's going to make it be deflected out of bounds, but Spartans will retain possession of it.
And I liked both possessions from these last couple possessions for both teams, as they've been able to move the ball, and rather than go up for a tough off-the-dribble look, they've been able to swing the ball around and find an open shooter off a pass rather than force that guy to go and shoot a tough pull-up jumper. So definitely some improvements offensively for both teams early on.
Well, now Welker's going to take it from 3. This one is off, and they're going to say that ball went off. Coleman reaching for trying to get the offensive board, but a few on that same possession, English picked up his 3rd foul of the game, and that's going to be huge as they do not want him in foul trouble. He was on the bench much of the second quarter sitting with 2 fouls, and early picks up his 3rd foul as Carmani Davis. Somebody pull him off as he's been heating up from beyond the arc. That's 4 threes now with all of his points coming from beyond the arc.
And with that, the Knights now take the lead, and that momentum they had for a bit in that first half is starting to ramp up even more, Malachi.
And the tough shot by Welker is unable to get it to go as the Knights have everything going their way. It's going to be Zarfiski trying to get it up with his offhand, but it's going to be no good. And they're going to get Zarfiski on the foul, and he's not happy with that one. That's going to be his 2nd foul, and the Knights student section letting the refs know.
Zarfiski thought he had a clean jump ball, but refs saw too much contact on the arms of Welker, but the Spartans a bit of a break there, and they need something to go their way as offensively they are struggling to start the second half. That defense of the Knights is ramped up even more, and they've shifted from zone to man, just forcing the Spartans to go and make tough shots.
And a tough shot like that one by Ryder Emmel, but he's not able to get it to go as Spartans keep settling for mid-range, and the tough layup by English is no good, but Taylor's there to grab it and goes up through contacts as everything's going the Knights' way right now as Spartans just have no answer for this Luers team.
And once again, the rebounding woes coming to harm the Spartans as tough layup doesn't go initially, but Taylor just able to go and get on the offensive glass and now finds himself at the line to convert an and one. So Taylor, quiet half due to foul trouble in the first half, is already making a big impact.
And Taylor's free throw unable to go, so he's unable to convert the 3-point play, but now Luers bringing full court pressure once again, just showing different looks to the Spartans and trying to mess them up, but Zarfiski picks up another foul. That's going to be his 3rd of the night, and all 3 have come in unnecessary moments. And you can tell he's pretty frustrated with it as, a lot of these are 50-50 calls that could go either way, and he's been on the wrong side of 3 of them, so he's now in foul trouble as Coleman's looking for some space. He's going to get it back up to Weaver now. Weaver just looking to slow things down. Now Coleman has ball in his hands once again. Picks up his dribble as McNeese has it. Coleman was looking to cut to the basket, but it's going to be Weaver in the corner now. Coleman 2 sent to the ball. They're looking to trap him. Weaver goes inside. Out to McNeese. The mid-range shot unable to go. The Spartans keep settling for those long 2s. They need to try to get some better shots as the Luers now have a chance to extend their lead even further. So now Moore has it. Looks to attack. Gets it to English, who's going to settle things down. Dribble handoff now to Taylor. He's looking to go down low, puts the ball on the floor, and then English fake jab 3, no good. So McNeese has it now, and Emil's taking the ball up the floor quickly for the Spartans, and it's going to be off the shoe of Zarfiski trying to get in the passing lanes as Emil was looking for Welker on the low block.
And Coach Johnson and Welker immediately knew that he needed to get down low as he had a bit of a mismatch, but heads up play there by the Knights, just kicking it out of bounds and forcing the Spartans to set something up.
Well, how about that inbound as McNeese was all alone under the basket, and Weaver saw him right away as the Knights just lapse in defense there. Now it's going to be English. He's calling for a screen for Moore. It's going to go inside, and miscommunication. Thought Crow was there, but he was not, so it's going to be the Spartans' chance now to try to take the lead back. It's going to be Welker, the tough jumper, unable to hit anything. And now quickly pushing up the floor, Moore unable to get it, but kicks it out to English. English no good on the 3. And how about that effort? Moore battling over the top of Immel and just somehow able to reach the ball and throw it off the legs of Immel. The effort on that play keeps the possession alive for the Knights.
Great hustle there from Moore, and so far the moral of this game has been every 50-50 ball is going towards Luers, and for Homestead, that's not a winning recipe of basketball.
Cormani Davis finally misses a three as he was feeling himself a bit of a heat check on that one. And now Coleman wanted a foul there, but they're going to keep on letting them play as Spartans trying to find a good look. They haven't been able to get one outside of that inbounds pass to McNeese. So it's going to be Weaver in the corner. Gets it back now as they're looking to get Weaver down as they get to McNeese instead, and he's going to bank it in for the two as now the Spartans retake the lead in this one, 33-32.
It's going to come down to who can get the better shots and who can make them, as both teams are struggling to hit some of those tough shots they were making earlier in the year. And it's going to be interesting to see what team can get the more quality looks and who can actually knock them down. That's going to be huge, determining the winner of this one.
And now Weaver able to get his hand on the ball, just sensed the pass there. It's his eyes in the back of his head on that one. And Coleman unable to get the shot to go, but grabs his own miss, gets it down to Welker. Welker's going to go up and lay it in as the Spartans starting to build a little bit of momentum themselves, and the Knights are going to be forced to take a timeout as we will step away. The Spartans have retaken the lead and are up 35-32.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
We're back from Spartan Arena with both teams set to get underway as the Knights, they were picking up some momentum there, took the lead very briefly as the Spartans have now come down and taken the lead back, currently up by 3.
Well, Malachi, they call basketball a game of runs, and that has been very true. And this one is when it looks like Luers might go on a huge run to pull away. The Spartans go on a run of their own, so just a nice back and forth between these two teams. And these final 2 minutes and who becomes victorious in these final 2 minutes is going to be huge, determining how the fourth quarter goes.
And they're going to say the ball was off of Davis, tried to save it after it went off the foot of Kenyon Crow. Just a turnover coming out of the timeout, not at all what the Knights were looking for, as Spartans have another chance now to try to extend their lead as the clock dwindles down under the 140 mark in the third quarter. It's going to be Coleman. He has to pick up his dribble. And McNeese, given all the room in the world, is going to pull up on the mid-range. That one's not going to go, but Coleman gets the board. That one's not going to go either. McNeese is fighting for it, and it's going to be Crow getting the ball to Zerfisky, and they're going to try to run now. Gets it down to Taylor. Taylor's they're going to charge him with the charge. And how about that play by Mason Weaver, able to recognize that Taylor was coming down and out of control. Sets his feet and takes the contact. A veteran move by a freshman.
Yeah, you mentioned it, just playing beyond his years as Weaver there, is taking the charge was great, as not only do you force a turnover, but you get Taylor to the bench, as foul trouble continuing to be an issue for the Knights. And the longer you have Taylor on the bench, the better you have a chance of getting the rebounds if you're Homestead.
And now it's going to be Immel taking the long three. He's got that one to go. That's going to be his third three of the night, and he's the first Spartan in double digits. It's going to be Luers now. It's going to be more driving down low. It's going to be swatted away, but they're going to say a foul on the way up, as they're going to say Welker got him on the way up. Welker pleading his case, trying to say he was clean, and they're not going to go his way. So it's going to be Moore now, taking some shots at the line. Not the greatest free throw shooter, as he comes into this game at 20%, has already missed both chances in this game, but he's going to miss the first end of this one, as well as this has been the one thing plaguing the Knights all night long. It's been that lack of free throw shooting.
They've missed about 6 free throws as well. So if they were to hit these free throws, they would be tied with the Spartans, and that's just huge. As when this game's been such a game of runs, any little point helps so much.
And Moore's going to make the second one, but they're going to get the timeout called by Coach Johnson just in time, as Spartans were trapped in the corner there for a minute. As we'll step away, the Spartans hold their lead 38-33.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
And we're back from Spartan Arena as the Spartans lead 38-33 as they are trying to break the pressure brought by the Knights, and they're able to as McNeese has the ball, but he's going to throw it away. Couldn't handle the pressure and sails that one over the scorer's table. And now Luers is going to have a chance to try to cut into this deficit in the likely final possession of the half, and they're going to get Ale Taylor into the game on the offensive end as he's going to sub in. And here's another look at that throwaway. You can tell 2 sent to the ball, and he just wasn't able to make the correct read as he was rushed in that. But now the Knights, it's going to be Crow driving downhill, the floater up and good to cut the lead to 3 as now the Spartans trying to hold for the last shot. It's in the hands of Coleman at the moment. This crosses over the timeline. So he guarded closely by Zerfisky. They're going to send 2 to him. He has to get it away to Weaver. Weaver's going to drive inside, floats it up, and it's going to be good. The bank shot to beat the buzzer. How about that? As that's going to get him to double digits. As you see that, just beating the buzzer with the floater. Great touch there by the freshman, and we'll step away as it's 40-35, Spartans lead.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
We're back at Spartan Arena as fourth quarter is about to get underway as the Spartans holding on to a narrow 5-point lead over the Bishop Luers Knights, 40-35, and it's going to be Knights basketball to start this fourth quarter.
And I'd like to see a long possession here from the Knights. I feel like in that third quarter they were just going a little bit too out of their pace and forcing up shots that they did not have. So a nice long possession that ends in a score would be nice to set the tone.
Well, Davis shoots the quick 3 and is unable to get it to go as he launched that one from deep.
Just a bad shot there for the Knights. Not something you want to draw up a first possession of this pivotal fourth quarter, especially these first couple minutes, as it's neck and neck right now, and every possession becomes oh so more valuable.
And now Mason Weaver has the ball for the Spartans, gets it to Coleman. Coleman surveying the defense as he's been hounded by Surfiski, and they're going to call the off-ball foul. Looks like they're going to get it against Moore, and they will, and that's going to be his third of the game, as now numerous Knights in foul trouble, as he's the third Knights player to pick up 3 fouls, and now the Spartans are going to have it to inbound, get it to Coleman. Coleman gets it to Welker. And Coleman just holding on to it right now, not wanting to force anything, just letting the offense run its course as Immel has the ball now. Spartans just keep circling it around the perimeter, and they're more than content in doing so as they currently hold the 5-point lead. So Welker just keeps holding it. So they definitely don't want to be rushing to taking a bad shot, just taking all the time in the world as the clock just keeps on ticking. And you know, why not? If you're the Spartans, Luers isn't forcing you into anything, then don't make a quick decision. But it's going to be Welker down low. He's going to go up through the contact. No good, but how about that? Brogan McNeese is there for the second chance opportunity and gets the putback layup to go.
A big-time putback from McNeese off of the missed layup. Now it's up to the Knights to try to respond after one bad possession.
And Ale Taylor able to get Welker up in the air, and he's going to take advantage of that, as you see. Gets him in the air and then goes right into him. Refs have to call that one, as you have to stay down if you're Welker in that situation.
And Taylor, he's been on the receiving end of drawing fouls, so maybe dishing it out feels a bit better if the Knights can go to the free throw line. But once again, just struggling to knock down free throws. We've been talking about it all night long, just missing free throws. That's been one of the top 3 problems for this Knights team tonight, as well. They aren't making shots. That's one of the primary concerns. Just the free throw line. I mean, they're called free throws for a reason. You have to knock down your charity stripe looks.
And Taylor, the second one's going to be up, and that one's no good as well. So he leaves empty-handed from his trip to the stripe, and they're going to get another foul on Zerfiski. That's going to be his 4th of the game. And I mean, if you're Coach Coffin here, I mean, you have to keep him in the game. He's been huge for this team, but man, that's going to be rough for him, as he's going to have to slow down his physicality in the final 6 minutes of this one. And the timeout is going to be called here by Luers, as they're going to take things over. And we're going to step away here from Spartan Arena.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
We're back at Spartan Arena, as the Spartans currently lead 42-35 with just over 6 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, and it's been back and forth. But the Spartans, they've gone out to the early advantage here in the 4th quarter, as they're going to look to try to build on that in this possession here.
Yeah, they've been taking care of the basketball, and they've been getting pretty good looks, and even when they don't hit the initial look, they've been on the offensive glass. Welker and McNeese both crashing the glass hard, and that's opened so many things up for the Spartans.
And Ryder Immel gets an open look from 3. It's good. How about Ryder Immel? He's up to 13 points on the night, and that's going to be his 4th 3. It's going to be Taylor now working against Welker. He's going to go inside. Is met with contact. No call, as McNeese was straight up on that one. Welker looking to take it coast to coast, and he can't get the layup to fall. So now Zerfiski's taking it up, and Davis looks to go downhill early, but he's going to settle as he gets it. Taylor's going inside. They're going to call the block. They're going to call was Zerfiski's down on the floor. As you look at that, just grabbing his leg. Looks like it might just be a cramp on that one. Looks like, yeah, he's able to get up. So a good sign. But Taylor is headed to the foul line now, as the call is going to be a blocking foul against Coleman, as he's just not set there. And Taylor, after going 0 for 2 in his last trip to the stripe, looking to redeem himself here.
And Taylor had another opportunity to convert and one earlier in the game as he got the bucket through contact but just couldn't hit the free throw. And now more than ever, if you're the Knights, you have to knock down your free throws.
And he's unable to do so as missing free throws continues to plague this Knights team, as now Spartans looking to take the ball. Looks like they want to slow things down as it's in the hands of Coleman. He's going to get the screen from Welker, but be content with keeping it on the outside. His English gambling on a steal there, but is unsuccessful as Immel has it. It's going to be sent down low to McNeese. McNeese working against Taylor now, just backing him up. Trying to spin around, gets to Weaver. Weaver thinks about the three, but decides not to pull it, as he's going to get it to Coleman now. As Coleman gets down low, he's going to go up. How about that one going up through the contact from Ale Taylor and able to get the layup to go.
It's a tough move there from Coleman, spinning off of Crow, getting to the layup, and now the Spartans extend their lead to 10, and now the pressure is really on the Knights to have a good possession, and looks like they want to draw something up.
And they're going to talk things over. Another look at that good basket, drives inside with the left hand, then switches to the right for the layup, as he has been great, driving inside as a great finishing package around the rim. As now Luers, you find them yourself down 10, just over 4 minutes remaining to go. What do you tell your team in this timeout?
I'm going to tell them to slow down. Even though it looks like time may be against you, you still have plenty of time to stage a comeback here, as they're getting some good looks. I mean, Davis is coming off screens. He's had some good looks. Taylor's getting down low, looking to go at the rim, but they just can't convert them as well as they would like to, as part of his through that Spartans defense is harassing them. But just main thing you want to tell your team to slow down a bit and don't feel like time is against you, because you still have a good amount of time as long as you play defense.
Yeah, well, you mentioned when they get the ball down low to Taylor, I mean, he's almost unstoppable for the Knights, and a lot of times the Spartans are forced to foul. Just send them to the stripe. Well, the problem is Spartans are more than comfortable with sending him to the stripe, because he has not been hitting so far tonight. He only shoots 38% from the line this season, and man, he's been struggling to start this game, and that's been a big problem for a lot of players on this Knights team, as they're going to look to get Davis going, but he's going to give it out to Moore. He's going to just continue dribbling around. He's going to get it out to Zerfisky. Has an open three. He's going to take it, and it's good. After exiting the game with a cramp, he's back in and showing no signs of slowing down as he immediately hits the three.
That was a big-time shot there by Zerfisky to cut the Spartans' lead to double digits, and you notice there he's playing defense without his hands, as he's currently sitting on 4 fouls, so don't want to lose him if you're Luers.
Yeah, and Jake Coleman going right at him, and you can see right there, just unable to be as physical as he was in the earlier 3 quarters, and Coleman takes advantage, getting the tough shot to go. Now Davis going to take the long three. This one's no good, but it's going to be a fight down low, and Taylor's going to have it. He's going to throw up a shot, and fouled once again. That one is going to go against Coleman, and that's going to be his 4th foul of the game, and that's serious foul trouble for him, as, I mean, they really can't afford him to come out of the game. He's been huge for this team, just handling the ball, and we've seen some good shots down low for him to help the scoring as well, but Il Taylor has a chance. He's missed his last 3 free throws and make that 4 in a row. Just cannot seem to get his free throws to fall.
And you can see it on his face, but he can't show that frustration. You have to remain stoic out there on the court to keep not only your team into it, but also not let the other team take advantage of the visible frustration.
They're finally able to get one to go. You can see signs of relief on his face, as Spartans looking to speed things up a little bit as they get it to McNeese now. He's just standing above the wing. He's going to fake the dribble handoff and do one of his own with Mac Welker, and the layup reverse. Able to just go up and lay it in. A nice move for him as he's up to 8 points. And now Zerfisky's going to take the quick three off the mark, as now the Spartans are going to try to slow things down, just slowly drip time off the clock to try to preserve the 10-point lead that they have. It's going to be Weaver trying to drive down low. He's going to get to Welker. Welker goes up against Moore. It's going to be rejected and pinned off the backboard. Now English taking it, goes up through contact, can't get the layup to go. And now Coleman has it in his hands once again. And now Luers sending some pressure, and it forces Coleman to lose it, but he somehow finds the ball once again and gets the layup. So somehow Jake Coleman, a little bit of magic there, making it work. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Brogan McNeese getting the block on Zafersky on that one, as Luers just trying to speed things up as you get another look at that block. Spins around, and McNeese is right there to send it back in. Now they're going to get a blocking foul. That one is going to go against Mason Weir. That'll be just his first foul of the game, but that's going to push the Spartans into 4 team fouls for the time being. Ale Taylor pulls the quick three, unable to get it to go. Well, he is a 100% three-point shooter on the season, but he's only taken one, so now only 50% after that one's unable to find its way down. It's going to be Coleman circling the baseline, gets it, and it's going to be McNeese down low, shot altered and unable to finish. And the Knights once again looking to go quick. The hop step by English, and he gets that one to go. A good move by him as we get another look at that one.
Yeah, they're great transition play from the Knights, as now they have to start to go quick. Now time is against them, as under 2 minutes, still down by 10. So for the Knights, they have to play with pace, but their past couple possessions has just been one pass shot. And I understand you want to go quickly if you're Bishop Luers, but one pass into a chucking up a three is not the recipe to cut down this Spartans lead. It's getting stops defensively, trying to force a turnover. And even if you can't, still, when you play quick offensively, you need to play quick but controlled, if that makes sense. Just don't force up an ill-advised shot when you're under 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting change of philosophies on the offensive side of the ball as of late for the Knights. It seems like they're trying to play catch-up late into this game, and they're just seemingly chucking up threes for the time being. And now we have Braxton Hall down low with a sideline report.
Thanks, Malachi. Coach Johnson during that timeout just reiterating to his guys, be smart with the basketball. Don't make any mistakes. They have 2 timeouts to work with if they need them, so just be smart in the final 2 minutes and protect this 10-point lead.
Thank you, Braxton. We'll see if the Spartans are able to do just that. They've been trying to play safe basketball as the Knights are trying to speed them up, make them make a careless decision. Almost does, but McNeese grabs it. He's going to slam it home. How about that play by Brogan McNeese as he's able to go up and throw it down to push the Spartans' lead to 12. And now Luers just scrambling to get anything. It's going to be English, the three. That one's no good. Rebounded by Welker, but it's going to be poked away by Crow, but able to find Coleman's hand now as Ryder Immel's going to try to slow things down for his team. Just continue trying to dribble the clock out as we're ticking under 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. As Coleman just continues circling around, as now Luers is going to send to the ball and getting a little bit out of transition, but it's going to be a foul now, as we may see the foul game come into effect as Luers just unable to do anything. But another look at this one. McNeese goes up, able to grab the ball with 2 hands, and then the jam you saw at the end there. A tremendous play by him, and could be the nail in the dagger for this game.
Yeah, and it was a scary pass from Coleman, but found its home. And now Coleman gets he missed the easy layup, so bad play from the Spartans.
Yeah, just an uncharacteristic miss there by Coleman. He misses almost every time, but English responding with a tough layup of his own. Still trying to keep his team in this game, as another foul is going to be called. This one's going to be off Davis, as it's going to be his first foul of the game. And the Spartans are, they're just trying to dribble the clock out as much as possible, and Knights just trying to foul, trying to keep themselves in this game. At another great find by Welker, another missed layup by Coleman. He's going to get another opportunity. He finally takes that one, and he finally gets the layup to go after 2 straight misses. He's able to finally find his way down, and now it's going to be a scramble for it down low. Taylor's going to come out with it, put up the layup, no good, gets his own miss. It's going to be sent back by Ryder Immel. How about that defensive play? And now Morris forced to fouls. It's Spartans lead by 12 with under 60 minutes, and another look at that block. Look at that one by Ryder Immel going against the much taller Ale Taylor and just sending it back to him. It's been a great game for him so far. He has 13, and he's been getting it done on the defensive side of the ball as well, as Coleman's going to have free throws to really put this game away.
And these free throws really almost for decoration, as down by now 13 with 16 seconds left. It's impossible for the Knights to come back, and it was a back and forth battle, but in those last couple of minutes it was really just all Spartans. They pulled away, and it was mainly due to the fact that they got a lot of looks down low. They broke the pressure that the Knights sent at them and got downhill for the layups, and converting on those bunnies attempts, just have to hit those. And even if it took Kuhlman 3 tries, he eventually hit one as well. So Spartans just doing things the right way in those last couple minutes.
Well, Taylor now trying to get it down low, but unable to get it. English is able to get the second chance opportunities. Maybe a little bit too little too late, as Spartans not even trying to inbound the ball here, as that's going to wind down the clock on this game, and the Homestead Spartans come out with the 12-point victory. But man, this game was very close throughout and could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was really neck and neck to the last couple minutes like we were just talking about, but the Knights just fell short in the end, as they weren't able to knock down the three-pointers in the same volume they were in that first half. And when they cooled down, the Spartans started to heat up a bit, so just allowed them to pull away in that final quarter of play. And it was a team effort from the Spartans, as really almost everybody struggled shooting the ball today, but eventually as a team they all found a way to come together and get a big-time win in conference play.
Yeah, a huge win for the Spartans. They definitely needed this one, and now we have silent reporter Braxton Hall standing by with one of the great players tonight, Mason Weaver.
Thanks, Malachi. Mason, congratulations. A double-digit performance tonight, including 8 points in the first half. Tell me about your play in this one.
It's just all the work we put in. It's behind the scenes. It's practice. It's everything. It's off season this summer. We all worked at it, and it was really a team win. It was a gritty win and everything. Played hard.
And you're a freshman, first year on the varsity team. You see your teammates surrounding you right now. Tell me about some of these older guys and how they've taken you under their wing.
Oh yeah, big leaders. Mac, Jake, everybody is just big leaders and everything, and really just helps me get more confident on the court and everything like tonight, and then just showcase the talents and everything, and have the team around us and everything.
And then big non-conference game coming up on Monday against Leo. How do you prepare for that one?
Just sticking to our stuff. We just got to work at practice and everything. Just like tonight, we can't let our stuff get out of hand at practice and having it go on the game.
All right, thanks, Mason. Congrats on the win, guys. Malachi?
Thank you, Braxton. Yeah, a great game for the Spartans in this one, and by Mason Weaver, as he ended up with 10 points in this one. Some other Spartans with a big night. Ryder Immel had 13 in this game, a huge night for him. Mac Welker also poured in the scoring. It was a great night all around, but what surprised you the most about the Spartans tonight?
I think the way that the young guys stepped up in a timely manner is to start the game when things were slow. Weaver picked things up and got to quick 8 points, and then down the stretch, Immel found his shot again that he'd been missing the past couple games, and he was able to find the stroke in the fourth quarter, and that was big time for the Spartans to really pull themselves away.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be huge for the Spartans down the stretch of the season. Is can they have those other guys step up when Mac's not, his normal self? And he really wasn't tonight. He only put up 11 points, which is an off night from his usual 24 that he averages on the season. But they were still able to get the win because they had 5 players able to reach double digits, and that was huge for this team. If they can continue playing like that on the offensive side of the ball, they will be very successful down the stretch of the season. But another point I want to touch on is the defense. I mean, the defense from the Spartans was great. They forced this Knights team that averages 67 points per game. They limited them to only 47, 20 points below average. So a great defensive performance from the Spartans. What stuck out to you the most about their defense?
Well, you mentioned Welker having an off night offensively. Well, how about defensively? Him and both McNeese's down low, being a presence, just sending shots back if the Knights went up with anything weak. Same with Ryder Immel. He was using his size to not only get some blocks on the weak side, but he was just stopping any attempts with penetration from the Knights. And that was a huge thing that they took away from Bishop Luers, just any ability to get downhill and drive to the basket. They forced the Luers to be a perimeter-oriented team. While they have good shooters, their identity is balance offense and getting it down low to their big guys like Moore and Taylor. So Spartans defensively really taking away the paint aspect of the Knights offense and forcing them to go up with some tough threes that the Knights just couldn't connect on when they needed to.
Yeah, so a great game by the Spartans, but now switching focus to the Knights. It was a loss, and that does hurt, especially in a big conference game like this one. But, they were in the lead of this game at times in the third quarter and had real shots down the stretch of this game before it just got out of hand. What do you take away from this game if you're the Knights?
Well, I think the big thing is definitely keep your heads up high. It was a close game up until the end. You were competing with the Spartans, who have surprised a lot of people with how good they've started this year, and a team that is going to be competing in some tough games come playoff time. But just one thing that they need to work on, just free throws, converting free throws, especially when you're tired. Scoring the basketball when you're tired is already hard, but at that charity stripe, you have to take advantage of it, especially when you get those and one opportunities that Taylor had, a couple of those in this game. But I think big thing is heads up high and just continue to play your style of basketball, as they really shied away from who they were as a team. They're kind of letting the Spartans force them to play a certain way, and you want to clean that up going into their continued road stretch.
Yeah, now looking at some scores around the area, as you can see on your screen now, we have Concordia Cadets up 32-28 against Bishop Dwenger. That's going to be a very interesting game down the stretch of that one, as there's still lots of time to go in that one. Meanwhile, the Wayne Generals find themselves up 13 against Carroll Chargers, extending their lead in this game in the third quarter. Now, a very close game that's down to the wire. Snyder and Northside. Snyder currently finds himself up 54-48. That'll be a game definitely to watch. And then finally, Southside's up 52-35 against Northrop. They're firmly in control of that game. Well, that's going to do it from Spartan Arena, as the Homestead Spartans beat Bishop Dwenger Knights 59-47. And on behalf of everyone here on Homestead Live, I'm Malachi Stout, joined by Atticus Dean and wonderful sideline reporter Braxton Hall.